Another day I gotta go ahead and do something I wanna do. Ain't no one wanna do it for me. This world can be so lonely. To the top, looking back at all the lives that were lost on the way. Another day, just to pray, forget the pain. What the fuck is up with the world nowadays? People going crazy over little things. Is it even Sunday? Jesus saves. Thank God I'm blessed to see another day. Gotta go ahead and do something I wanna do. Ain't no one wanna do it for me. This world can be so lonely. To the top, looking back at all the lives that were lost on the way. Another day, just to pray, forget the pain. What the fuck is up with the world nowadays? People going crazy over little things. Is it even Sunday? Jesus saves. Thank God I'm blessed to see another day. Never know when you're gonna lose your life someday. There's a price to be paid. Way worth than gold. Evilness wanna take your soul. Wake up when you're gonna wake up. The finger is pointing too close to home. Always attacking when alone. Even started taking our phones just to pray, forget the pain. What the fuck is up with the world nowadays? People going crazy over little things. Is it even Sunday? Jesus saves.
All right, so not that anyone really cares, but I guess just to fill y'all in, I always have the podcast or the live stream running in the background so I can check on the chat, see how it's looking on my end real quick, and then if I need to double check the audio and video. And anyway, to get that done, I usually open it here on my browser so that then I can find it on my phone because it's weird. I don't think if I'm live streaming, I can really get it on my phone unless it's in my history from me going to it on the computer first. So I always pull up my live stream on the computer. And anyway, that's what y'all heard in the beginning, kind of the echo of me coming through on there. Anyway, we're going to go over a few topics like I was saying. Some stuff with DDG and his baby mama, Haley or Halle Berry. I'm assuming Haley. I'm not too sure. She's the one who was in the new Little Mermaid film. That's the thing that I know her the most from. And then we're going to get into the LaMelo Ball stuff and a few little other things, but nothing too serious. So let's see. I think first we got a treat. Trumpy Bear. Him and Big Elon were at a shuttle launch apparently in Boca Chica, Texas, which I've never heard of. And based on this other news story right up here, hold on, let me see something. Okay, yeah, we got I'll go ahead and why didn't it work? There we go. That way y'all can see the video better. But yeah, based on this other video, you can still see it, yeah. I'm assuming that's in South Texas by Brownsville, but I'm gonna look it up real quick for y'all. For us rather. Boca Chica. Or Chico. Oh no, it's Chica. That is basically a little island as close as you can get basically to in Texas, as close as you can get to the border without being in Mexico. It's south of South Padre Island. So anyway, it's very, 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 very far south. Let's see. Basically, yeah, it's basically Brownsville. So, anyway, yeah, Trump and Elon have been big friends since earlier this year whenever Elon was harassed by Don Lemon. I don't know if anyone saw that, but that was kind of a big thing when Don Lemon interviewed Elon, and the interview was supposed to get posted, or it did get posted to Twitter, but I think it was supposed to be exclusive to Twitter for a certain amount of time, and they had this deal that fell through, and that was a big part of the news. But another thing that really made news was when Don Lemon interviewed Elon, and honestly, I will give Don Lemon some credit. He asked some good actual reporter investigative questions, so to speak. And one thing he asked is okay, you're donating money to Trump in this this super PAC or whatever, however they donate money, where it's like a donation, but it's not like just straight them giving money. They do it in like whatever the proper avenues are, so to speak. And Elon said, just because I'm giving to this super PAC or whatever doesn't mean I'm like endorsing Trump or that we're like, working together, blah blah blah. And now that turned out to be true. So it's almost like, you know, um, he could say whatever he wanted at the time to try to make it seem like that wasn't true, but obviously it was. So anyway, I don't know what that really means or anything, but you know, these people lie just like politicians, I guess, is kind of part of it. And like, if you're gonna support him at that point and it's obvious enough that you're donating to a super PAC, why not just come out and say, yeah, I am supporting him, I'm on his side, we're friends, blah 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 blah. It's just weird that he tried to like hold out on being on his side to like the last minute. Um, I don't know. It's just weird with all this stuff. But
4, 3, 2, 1.
how much? Okay, bro. I can't be the only one thinking this. With all this stuff about global warming and getting rid of fossil fuels and electric cars, Elon's just dumping all this fucking waste into the atmosphere. Like, look at all that. How much fuel do you think that takes? Like, that's just crazy to me with the green initiative and all this stuff. We can't find a better way to propel our rockets into space than to just tons of fuel, just dumping. Like, you would think if the Earth is spinning all the time and flying through space at thousands of miles an hour, we'd find a way to like slingshot ourselves off of the Earth and into space instead of, or something a lot more like anti-gravity type technology, not just a rocket just dumping thousands of pounds of like fuel at the back. That's like crazy. And then let me go back. Right here on Trump, when I saw this shot earlier, it was like apparent to me that he either was like tanned or really to me looks like he's wearing makeup. And that's something that I've heard really a couple times here and there over the past month, I want to say. One time was that chick Bobby, I don't know how you say her last name. It starts with an A. She's like that real. She looks like Pam from The Office. So she's real awkward, and she blew up doing the interviews. I saw her call someone out for putting on makeup before coming on screen, and I felt like I was watching some other show where they brought up makeup, and I never really think about it. But also, it was a conversation I had at work with a coworker about if you're on camera and taking pictures. He does it professionally for a side gig thing that he was saying sometimes he applies a light bit of makeup to look better on camera. So there ain't no makeup on this face, I can tell you that. But I just think it's interesting that I've brought up Trump probably 2 or 3 months ago with the shoulder pads thing, and now with either the tanning or the makeup. So, manly men and men that got shit, like, what am I trying to say? Just like, what kind of confident man that has his shit together is wearing makeup or shoulder pads or having to go to a tanning booth all the time? Like, is that a confident, secure, like masculine male? Not to me.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
I don't think the footage we just saw or this footage is even actually real.
Ship engine started.
I could be wrong. This might be. Who even knows what's real anymore?
As well as the operators on console.
I guess that is. It's just blurry as hell.
Have been actively evaluating the commit criteria for that return to the launch.
And he has to dump a bunch of fuel for it to land. There's no kind of parachute thing or any kind of object like that we can have to slow its descent back to the ground. He just has to dump a bunch of more fuel to build up resistance to it falling. And then it just like, I guess they're gonna say something here in a minute, real briefly, about it not being able to be caught regularly or land regularly, so they just gotta land in the ocean. So my first thought is like, well, he dumps all this fuel into the atmosphere and then he just lands this piece of garbage right in the ocean. I'm sure that doesn't pollute it at all or like do any damage or anything. It's just like,
tower. And unfortunately, we did not have a pass on those commit
the
criteria.
amount of things that show you that the powers that be don't give a fuck, but then they act like they give a fuck a lot about like the smallest little thing. It's like they give a fuck about controlling your little mind. That's what they give a fuck about. They don't give a fuck about really anything else.
So we are no go for tower catch.
Look at him just dump his little fucking rock in the ocean now. And they're cheering this on. Woo! Elon, woo! You just spent millions of dollars to blast something up real quick and then it just land in the ocean. Like, was that a net positive for anything? And I mean, I guess the argument could be like, well, it's advancing rockets and blah blah blah, if you even believe that sort of thing. And you could say it takes this, what would be metaphorically step 1 or 2 to get to step 10 or 100. But he's done this kind of shit before. I feel like this is where he was 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. Like, how much improvement has he made over the past decade? Seriously, like legitimately.
View of splashdown that we got today. Our ship is doing great so far.
Anyway, that's all I had for this. I just thought it was funny that Trump, him and Elon are hugged up. That's going to be an interesting relationship to watch over the next, year to 4 years. And, I just wanted to point out some stuff about Trump real quick, the fakeness again. And, just question, like, if we're worried about being super green and no fossil fuels and shit, then is this really the best way to try to get to space? And if it is this something worth pursuing at this point? Like, if our methods to get to space are this archaic, then maybe that's why we haven't been to the moon or done really anything serious in space in a while. And maybe we shouldn't, honestly, because like this is like just contradictory if fossil fuels are such a big idea or a problem. So that's my thoughts on that. And anyway, next topic. So I think that was kind of the one thing that was separate. The rest of this stuff kind of goes together. There might be like 2 main topics here. We kind of got the stuff about DDG and kind of single moms and tying that in a little bit with Kai Cenat on a little bit of a different angle. And then we also have the LaMelo Ball stuff we'll hit at the end. So let me see real quick. Give me a second. Falcon State Park. Okay. That's what's up. Yeah, Joey was saying, giving me some more background in the comments on the what was it? Boca Chica. Looking ass. But anyway, yeah, it's interesting. So this is just a post I saw. I don't know how many of y'all are up to speed. Let me see how this looks for y'all. That's fine. But this is just a thing about what's her name? I guess, like I said, I was saying Haley Berry. I'm pretty sure. Let me look up this chick's name so I don't keep butchering it. Calling her basically Halle Berry, which is fucking wrong as shit. Let me see what this chick's name is. Haley. I wonder if that's how you pronounce it. Halle or Haley. Bailey is her last name, though. Okay, it's Haley. Okay, so Haley Bailey. What a name. Not whatever the fuck I was saying. Haley Berry. Haley Bailey. That is kind of weird. And anyway, I'm just a fucking idiot behind. Anyway, so she was the most big thing I've seen her in is the Little Mermaid remake that came out a couple years ago. That was like live action. Um, she has a kid with this guy DDG who's just like some streamer. I really don't. I'm getting old. I don't know what the hell he's famous for, but I know that about a week and a half ago, he was on Kai Cenat's stream, who's another young streamer, and he took their child. His DDG took his child and Haley Bailey's child onto Kai Cenat's stream, and I haven't watched it really. Don't really care about what was going on there. But she criticized him for not asking her or okaying it with her, making sure it was okay with both parents before he went on the stream, which I kind of get. I don't think it was cool how she like attacked him on social media, and I kind of did my whole thing on that and criticized her. But what I wanted to get at right now is, well, there's two angles of this. One on the Kai Cenat side we'll get to afterwards, but on the DDG side, these people have been on the news since he went on the stream, and she criticized him for doing it without asking her. And then after everyone on social media kind of like was ridiculing her for doing that and going too hard on DDG, she kind of apologized, and and then he had her back, and it was just all this bullshit. And DDG was online having her back, saying, "Oh, it's okay if she feels a certain way," just like defending her, white knighting for her. Even after she had apologized to the people, saying maybe she did go a little overboard. So anyway, they have a good thing where they look out for each other, whatever. But I guess he was doing Ask Me Anything or something similar, and someone asked, "Do you miss her?" And he said, "We literally talk every day. We have a child together." And this is DDG, excuse me, talking about Haley Bailey. And then someone responded, "Thank you for reminding me why to never date a woman with kids." And I know things are going to be different. These are celebrities. But speaking from experience and from what I've seen around, I would say I probably have like a jaded perspective of dating and stuff. I guess everyone does because they have their own like experiences that are going to filter into how they view things. But I would just say like women are already so difficult to deal with these days that I would strongly advise against like further complicating that with a woman that has kids. She's going to have less time for you, and it's a weird dynamic. There's so much more to this. It could take several episodes to hash this out, but there's just a whole host of reasons why the time thing, just by law of nature of like how much time there is in a day, and then you're dealing with other humans that are not half yours, like if they were half your children. So and there's a bunch that goes into all that, but because of those things, I feel like it's better to avoid women with kids. And they're bringing up the thing of like he's always gonna be, like I said, they talk every day, they have a child together, so how that's gonna keep them close. It's almost like it's like Super X, like he's the ex that's never gonna leave, at least for 18 or 20 years. Like they have a kid together, so it's almost like, do you think they're ever gonna slip back together? And like he said recently too, within the past week, that he would want to have another child with her and not someone else because he wants to have the same baby mother. So it's just this weird new thing that we really didn't have in the past generations with all these baby mamas, single moms. But I would just discourage against dating single moms. I would discourage dating single moms. There you go. And there's the whole thing of the kids, the time. Then if you factor in the baby daddy who's always going to be in the picture, that's a hell no for me. So, I've beat this topic like a dead horse, but I just wanted to touch on it yet here again because it's showing its ugly face. But anyway, I just wanted to keep it light, keep it tight, looking ass, and just kind of give my opinion again. So that's all I got to say on that. Now, let's see. Here we go. To tie that in with the Kai Cenat thing, I, again, haven't seen this stream, don't really care what they talked about, but within the past day or two, G Herbo, Chicago well-known rapper, had his son on the Kai Cenat stream. Now, what I will say is both of these guys are going on the stream with their kid. They're not just sending the kid on there. But I just want to pose the topic, and I don't even know how I feel about this, but I just want to introduce it for conversation into the public forum. How do we feel about kids putting themselves online or being put online in this case at such a young age? Do we think that's okay for, I mean, it's all about them and protecting them, but like for other people to see them and how that affects people view them or would treat them, and then them being online and seeing everything that's online and seeing people see them, if that, like, there's probably, like I said, that this is a whole nother episode that could be talked about too, but I just want to know, like, is this what's healthiest and best for the child? Putting them online at such a young age. What is the benefit of it? What are the downsides? Are we okay as a society? It's, it's one thing when kids have to have their parents' permission to do it, even if it seems like they're doing it alone and they're doing like toy review videos or whatever the fuck. Basically an online version of a lemonade stand type shit. But the parents still have to know and give the okay. What do we think about kids putting themselves online, or before they're even like really? It's weird. Like what it gets into, like, kids can't give consent, right? So I guess if the parent consents, then it's okay, but it still just begs the question. Parents do stuff for their kids all the time that's not for their best. Let them be on the phone too much and feed them junk food and blah, 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 fill in the blank. Just not telling a kid no is like one of the most dangerous things most parents do to their kids. Like, facts. But anyway, I just wonder, like, what do you think about people taking their kids on Kai Cenat's stream for clout? And what do you think about people introducing their kids? Like, everyone, like, clown Drake for the, like, keeping his kid hidden from the world for so long, but, like, honestly, that's what the fuck I would do. I might be a little less cheesy with it, but, like, I would keep my kid from the world if I was famous for, like, as long as possible, and then even after they knew about him, I would keep him out of the limelight as much as possible, also as long as possible. So I know that was a lot of wordy as possibles in there, but you get it. I would just try to keep my kid very secluded from the world, from social media and like this kind of thing if I could. Y'all let me know. Do y'all think the same? Do y'all think there's nothing wrong with this? What are y'all's thoughts on kids getting exposed to the world super early on? And Kai Cenat, like, excuse me. And like, it's one thing for the parent to do it for clout, which is kind of greasy, but what do you think about Kai Cenat bringing all these kids on his stream? I don't know. It's a little weird. But y'all let me know. Y'all let me know what y'all think about the kids being introduced to the world at such a young age, and this was never a thing, really. Well, it was a thing, but look what happened to Michael Jackson and certain other kids that got real famous real young. Macaulay Culkin. I'm trying to think who else. There's probably other cases. People that got real famous real young, not really healthy. So, y'all let me know what y'all think about this. This kind of goes with the single mother thing, but Kim Kardashian said, can y'all see this? Excuse me. There we go. Excuse me. Kim Kardashian says she's basically raising 4 kids alone. Well, here you go. Do you want to date this woman? This woman? Since Kanye, we've heard that she's dated Pete Davidson, and that's it. So, can't find a good, steady boyfriend / guy who wants to fill that boyfriend or husband or partner role. And you couldn't make it work with Kanye. So either you should have picked a better man, because the excuse of I didn't know who he was is not true with you and him. Everyone knew who the fuck Kanye was. But for most women, it'll be like, I didn't know who he was, or I don't know. But you knew who he was. So you should have tried harder to fucking stay with him. Because it's either, I mean, typical like human shit is you try to either blame the man or the woman. It's this person's fault or this person's fault, one side or the other. When a lot of times the truth is there's enough blame to go around for all parties, or 2 if there's 2 for both parties. But with that being said, if you're in a situation where something goes wrong, you need to, for you to grow as a person, you need to be willing to look at what your part of what part of the blame you were responsible for. Kim K, it didn't work out. what part of that, it not working out, are you responsible for? You know, I'm sure Kanye did not force you to date him or marry him and have 4 kids and all this shit. Okay. So you decided to do that and now you're regretting it. You should have done something different. Be responsible for your part. Will you, though? No, because you're a dumbass. This kind of goes off of this. It's a recent thing since kind of separate, kind of same, kind of different. When Trump won, a lot of the fringe left women that they said they were like never women incels. Well, now you might argue for the first time there are women, something bordering along the lines of women incels. But there's women who are saying basically we're done with men. We're not going to have sex. We're not going to get married. We're not going to date. And I think there's one more not. It's like no marriage, obviously, no dating, no sex. I forgot what the other one was. It just no men in general? There's 4 no's, part of the like 4B's movement. But I believe Rolo's going to talk about it a little bit. He's considered one of the godfathers of the red pill. If you're a fan of the channel, you know, you probably know what the red pill is, or, you know, even if you've heard it of it on your own. It kind of got hijacked from the Matrix to mean a different thing as of, you know, the last little over 5 years, even a little longer, but seriously, the last 5 years, it's been co-opted to mean something a little different. Anyway, it's interesting because the whole red pill thing, in fact, and like especially the fringe parts of the red pill, which the red pill itself would already be considered probably a fringe right movement, but in that, the fringe of that would be considered like incels, men going their own way, stuff like that. Men who are basically said, I'm done with women and have given up on dating. Saying all that to say, there are men who have already said that, and it's not been it's been 5, like I said, the red pill has been going on strong 5 years. This other fringe of the red pill, which like MGTOW and incel, has probably been going on longer, but at least the steady like 5 years, if not longer. I would say longer. Anyway, men have been at this point, and it's fringe numbers, but the red pill gave it more of a like practical and like made it to where it was like, okay, this is a real problem, not just a fringe thing anymore. So men have been at the point where they're frustrated with women. A lot more, or a fewer group of men have been to a point where they're just done altogether. So it's like, okay, men have already been here. Women are just now getting to that point. It's kind of like I don't know, maybe it was bound to happen, you know, but it's almost like welcome to the party like 15 years later, whatever type of thing. Like, I guess that's like a shallow, like lame way to view it, like tit for tat, but it's like, okay, y'all are getting low and petty, but like the men have been here. So yeah, like I don't, and the thing is the women that are doing this are the far left fringe women, I would think. The men that were gonna be sleeping with them and going for them, like, what am I trying to say? I just don't think this affects the majority of people. I could be wrong. But it's just kind of funny. It's like some of the men that y'all would have been with are already like giving up on women. So like, who are you really hurting? Like, I don't think there's any alpha dudes that you were gonna be fucking that you're just now like who's losing here? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I took the long ass way to say that, but like, who's losing? Like, who are you really? The slores are still sloring. Trust me. Anyway, let's get a little bit of Rolo's perspective on this. I'll chime in here and there, and then we'll move on from kind of the baby mama and the 4Bs slash anti-man fringe left movement from the women since Trump got nominated. We'll move on from this intersexual stuff to the LaMelo stuff.
Show where their mental point of origin is. Yes, it is. Tell me you care about men without telling me. Now, one of the things I threw out there, and I think this should be obvious to everyone else, is that the first thing, ladies, I'm gonna look. This is a message for the ladies. Why the 2 that watch my show, ladies. Here's the deal. If you don't want to be treated like a fucking piece of meat, if you don't want to be treated like an object, stop treating yourself like a fucking object. It's curb this fucking high. Okay. You can fucking get over this. Now, the first reflex women had wasn't, oh my God, we lost to Trump. We better get better candidates. Maybe we should rethink our policies. Maybe we should, maybe our men folk were reacting because we needed to pay more attention to them. Maybe we should be rethinking things. Maybe we should be a little bit more insightful. Maybe we should like change our mind on a few things. Maybe we should, I don't know, come up with a better candidate, come up with some, how can we improve our game so that we don't get fucking shut out in 2028? What can we do? No, that's not the first thing that fucking crosses your mind.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like I've been teasing it and I've been saying it to a lot of my friends, but I am gonna fucking do either tomorrow or Thursday. The breakdown gonna be live probably because I fuck with the live format because I can get it out to y'all right then, and then I don't have to sit in my living room right here live from the living room. I'll have to sit in the living room after I stream, or okay, let's say a video is 30 minutes, hour and a half, whatever. I'm probably gonna spend. If the video is 30 minutes, I'm spending 30 minutes watching it and editing it and so on. So if it's an hour and a half, I'm spending probably an hour and a half watching it and editing it. It's rough for me, or it's not rough, but it's time consuming for me to shoot a whole video and then spend just that much time editing it. And then I have to post it for y'all versus y'all can watch this now live if you choose to get a little viewing experience. And it's a little more rough around the edges, blah, blah, blah. But then you can rewatch it immediately and I don't have to spend time editing. I can be on to the next video and it's already out there for public consumption. So there's a huge advantage to live in my eyes, and it's a little more rough around the edges, but it's more efficient for me. And I forgot where I was even going with that. Oh, I'm gonna do the Tim Dillon thing live, even though it doesn't necessarily need to be live. I am gonna get that out to y'all, and I feel like Tim and Joe, there's so many gems from that. I really can't wait to do that view with y'all. I got a bunch of timestamps for it, but I'm doing the weave like Trump right now. Anyway, let me get to the damn point. Tim Dillon and Joe Rogan talked several different times, kind of briefly, but enough to give it some good points. They talked about how Kamala and the Democrats could have had a different strategy to maybe beat Trump with their messaging, and they didn't say like next time what they should try on or like what they can look forward to next year, but they almost, in a way, they were not directly saying that, but just saying like what else they could have tried, and like being like more strategic and saying, okay, our strategy was bad. What could we have done different? Instead of just more hate Trump. We tried these like 2 or 3 things that were trash and they failed. So we're just going to pound those 2 or 3 things harder. It's like, why don't you reevaluate like how you can appeal to the majority of Americans and try to reload and recalibrate and come back faster and better. I don't even know, faster and stronger. Come back with better points that people are more receptive to next time would be a way more accurate way for me to say that instead of just throwing out adjectives that don't fucking relate. Come back next time with better points that really hit the people. And I'm going to break down that, like I said, with the Tim and Joe thing, but they did a good job of bringing up how that could have been done and kind of pointing that out like Rolo is. Don't be just mad and butthurt that you lost and try to hammer home the things that made you lose. Find out what can make you win next time. Don't be a sore loser.
You know what it is? We're not fucking you. That's the whole thing. Yep. That's the whole.
That's all they got for like these far left women that are just like, blue hair, so angry all the time they almost hate themselves. That's like, those are the same women who will be like, women should be sexually free and you can't judge me by my sexuality and how are you such a male pig chauvinist, but then at the same time to like try to like get back at you, they're gonna say we're not having sex with you, don't even think about this, I'm so dry around you. It's like if you're more than that and you don't want me objectifying you for that, then why the fuck would you even bring that up? Great point, Rolo.
Out that in 2028. What can we do? No, that's not the first thing that fucking crosses your mind. You know what it is? We're not fucking you. That's the whole thing. Yep. That's the whole. You know what? Until you men folk do what we want you to do, no more pussy for you.
Isn't that such like how a toddler thinks? Like, okay, we're not gonna play basketball by my rules. I'm just gonna take my ball and go home. I'm just leaving. It's like, bro, like, you know, anyway, yeah.
You're a set of. That's what Patrice O'Neal said. You've reduced yourself to a set of fucking holes. That's what you're about. That's all there is to you. So when Rollo Tomasi tweets this again over and over and over again, saying that women's only real agency is their sexuality, you're proving me right.
Yeah, facts. I'm sure he's going to say more of the same for the next 15 minutes, and I'm pretty familiar with Rolo's. But if you want a dose of the red pill, go check out Rolo. He can get a little old, a little quick. I'm not going to lie. But he has some good stuff. He has some really dope books called The Rational Male. If you're a fan of Fresh and Fit, he's probably a big reason of why show is what it is. So salute to Rolo. He really did, some good work, open up a lot of guys' minds to the red pill. And to me, the red pill, when it comes to dating, which is what the red pill pretty much means in general terms these days, because in the Matrix it means something different. It just means being like awake to like the deception. But modern time, red pill basically refers to dating. And to me, the red pill is just giving all the guys the knowledge of how we're not getting a fair shake in the dating field and how to make it fair. And obviously, girls aren't going to like that if they have an advantage, which is what the red pill teaches. So I think it's good to learn what it teaches. I probably got a little too heavy into it at one point. I have no shame in admitting when I'm wrong, but really good knowledge, good to be educated on stuff. And, anyway, it's just interesting that now there's a fringe movement of women that are pushing back in the way of withholding sex. So y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Interesting, not, love it, hate it, think it's funny. I don't know. It's damn sure interesting. I find like a lot of the shit interesting. That's why I cover it for sure. So, all right, moving out of the intersexual dynamics type of stuff, as Rolo would call it. And this is kind of the last topic of the day. I might try to see if I can get somebody on the phone real quick. Me and DUB were having a good conversation the other day about this. I wish I would have got him on the pod, or at least had him on the line when I was talking about it. But LaMelo Ball was fined $100,000 for saying no homo. Excuse me, during an interview. So I'm gonna play the audio, and then we'll just kind of talk about it and give my opinions. Let me not that it really matters as much for this one, but let me make the screen bigger for y'all.
When he took the shot, yeah, we loaded up. No homo. That's what we wanted. Put the hand up. You said that last play when he took the shot? Yeah, we loaded up. No homo. That's what we wanted. Put the hand up.
Okay, I was also going to pull up this page. I haven't pulled up. I probably will go to it. But yeah, Charlotte Hornets guard LaMelo has been fined $100,000 for making an offensive and derogatory comment in a post-game interview. It was announced by Joe Dumars, executive vice president and head of basketball operations. Now, for those of you who don't know who Joe Dumars is, he was the shooting guard on the Bad Boy Pistons back in the day when they were. He was the shooting guard on the Bad Boy Pistons shortly before and during their prime battles with Jordan. So if you don't know basketball, you're not a big fan or nothing, no problem. But the Bad Boy Pistons were, I think, late 80s, late 80s and early 90s. They were, it was already a more physical league back then, but they were the most physical team, super defensive. The Bad Boy Pistons, and everybody on there was rough and rugged. They weren't afraid to have some, controversial calls as far as like what's a dirty versus a hard foul. They were going to hard foul for sure. And they even had what was called the Jordan rules, which was basically, essentially, don't let Jordan get in the paint. And if he gets in the paint, give him hell. It may be even a little more simple than that, but like just swarm Jordan in the paint and like don't fucking let him, just beat him up, basically, almost. And anyway, so Joe Dumars was kind of a tough guy back in the day, maybe, and like definitely not a softie and like a pussy. So it's like it's just interesting that he's the one lashing out this punishment when back in the day, I'm sure they heard much worse things than no homo. Maybe not an interview, but they were throwing punches, choking people. I'm sure they heard worse than that back in the day. So it's just funny that he's the one dishing out this $100,000 thing to get LaMelo in line. What do y'all think about that? Uh, do you think it's bad because it's on TV and it's not good for kids to hear that? Uh, do you think it's just drawing attention to the gay community and like giving them more shine? Because that's what my brother said. Like when you say no homo, and I've heard this idea presented before, and I agree with it. You can almost be like drawing attention to that if you say it too much. Like no homo, no homo. If you're no homo, if I'm chilling with you all day and you say no homo 10 times, guess what I'm starting to think about? I'm starting to think about gay. Like I'm starting to think, why are you always thinking about gay shit? Because you're saying no homo. I'm thinking you're thinking about gay shit a lot. Because every time something comes up that might have an innuendo that overlaps with that, you're having to clarify. Well, I wasn't even thinking that. But I'm thinking you're thinking that now, so it's almost like you're putting the homo out there when you say no homo. You know what I mean? It's almost like some law of attraction type shit. If you want to get more money, focus on money. Don't focus on like the fact that you don't have any money and your problems. You're just going to continue to have no money and have problems. So it's almost like this weird thing of like what even if you're focusing on it and how to fix it, the fact that you're focusing on it can draw it to you more. Kind of a weird like frequency vibration type of thing. So anyway, yeah, that's a point that I've heard brought up. Maybe not talked about that in depth, but I've heard that point of saying something. Even if you're saying no homo, you're still bringing up homo, and it's like if that's on your mind, that you're having to clarify that it's not that, right? Um, Another thing that's almost in that same vein, but not quite, is I've heard before if you go throughout the day and like several people tell you look sick, oh you look sick, oh you look sick, oh what the heck you look sick. Eventually you might start to feel sick. Now, I don't know about that. There is such a thing called the placebo effect. So, but there is such a thing too as vibrations and certain energies and stuff like that. So maybe when people say that they see something that is like slight or they sense something and you're already about to become sick. So who knows? But I definitely think there is something to if you're focusing on homo stuff, of course you're going to have to clarify no homo. And you're putting that out there. So other people are going to start to kind of think about that sort of thing a little bit, if anything. So there's something to be said about that. There's something to be said about kids watching basketball and it being a family thing. So I kind of get it. I'm just wondering if they're going a little hard on him. No homo. No Diddy. But I'm going to go to the NBA fines and look at what other fines they've been throwing around lately and just compare them and see what we think, if it was fair, if $100,000 was a fair number for the no homo derogatory comment. So Milwaukee Bucks head coach, let me see, make sure y'all can see this. Okay, yeah, Milwaukee Bucks head coach Doc Rivers, I don't think I need my headphones anymore, was fined $25,000 for public criticism of the officiating. Okay. Of course, the LaMelo Ball, $100,000 for no homo. Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards fined $35,000 for making an obscene gesture on the playing court. Now, I did see this, and this was Anthony Edwards running down the court, flipping somebody off. So, what's worse, the middle finger or no homo? I don't know. The NBA fined the 76ers $100,000. Now, this is a team. Including so they said things that were not consistent with Joel's health status, which I don't know how the fuck they would figure out they lied about his health status. Minnesota Timberwolves, Rudy Gobert fined $75,000 for making an inappropriate and unprofessional gesture that questions the integrity of the league and its game officials. Now, this was last year at the very end of the season in May, and I believe he did something like this, like basically saying the refs get paid off. So it's funny, he only got charged $75,000 for that, insinuating that shit's rigged. Yet the 76ers got fined $100,000 for lying about Embiid's health status. And that's the similar one that LaMelo got for no homo. It's like, why is no homo way more than flipping somebody off and, I guess 75 to 100, a little, or 100 to this 75 of the Rudy Gobert gambling thing. You would think that might be more. I don't know. I guess. Let's see. Denver Nuggets guard Jamal Murray fined 100,000 for throwing multiple objects in the direction of game official during live play. That seems like it should be more. So I don't know. I feel like the no homo thing should have been like 50,000 or a little less. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think it was a fair amount? Too much? Not enough? Do you think by doing that he's just bringing attention to it and that's bad overall? One argument I want to present that I was telling Weston is, you know, let me see. I believe they're showing games on FanDuel at this point. Let me see. FanDuel Sports, NBA.com, FanDuel Sports is a network, is your home for the Detroit Pistons, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, FanDuel, it basically has rights to, they're tied in with the NBA. So I'm gonna have to do more research and maybe come back with more facts on a future episode. But I know last season I was talking about with somebody, I had seen them putting, probably was FanDuel, some kind of gambling site on the court, but they were doing it digitally. It wasn't actually on the court. They were overlaying it digitally. So, and then I'm pretty sure I saw a game the other day that was like on a streaming site or on the like a FanDuel channel. And the commentators were shouting out FanDuel and shit. It was like sponsored by FanDuel. So, I think gambling is becoming more and more of a thing, and the league is like supporting it and intertwined with it. And the other day, some guy, I covered it on the podcast, episode or two ago. Some guy yelled from below the baseline to LeBron, "Hey, one more rebound!" And LeBron was like, "What?" And he grabbed a rebound, and then LeBron like pointed to him like, "Yeah, I got you, homie." And then afterwards, LeBron said, "Yeah, I heard him say one more rebound, and I helped him out with his parlay, so I guess all good, homie," or whatever. It's like, so if some guy has a bet and you have a chance to help him get it, you're gonna do it. But like that's not good for the integrity of the game. What happened about healthy competition and like the game just going as it may and like trying to beat the opponent and like the integrity of the game? Like now players are helping people win their parlays. Like, so Rudy Gobert gets fined for this, but then we have FanDuel, the league, like embracing that and encouraging gambling, and LeBron helping people with their parlays. So I'm very confused on what where the league stands on this. And then on another note, this is kind of a more nuanced thing, maybe, if that's the right word. But whenever Old Town Road was blowing up with Lil Nas X, the NBA games were playing that. It was the spring. Whenever that song was popular, it was popular in like the fall and the spring of one year. It was the spring of that year. They played the hell out of that song at the games. Every game I saw on TV, if I could, sometimes when you're streaming, they'll show you, you'll basically get like a thing that's not on TV that where they'll show you like what's going on inside the arena. And when they play the little mini games in commercial breaks, you'll see those from inside the arena, and you'll see like what music they're playing, and you'll see the fan cam, just like you're there at the game. Sometimes if you have a good streaming site, you'll see that stuff. When I'm watching that, I'm seeing back at that time, they were playing Old Town Road in like a lot of arenas during the commercial breaks and stuff, like a lot. Like that song was getting major rotation in NBA games. So why was the NBA so eager to promote Old Town Road, which if you know, you know, that whole song is about tricking people into like listening and singing about gay innuendos. So, and Lil Nas X is gay. So where do you think he's going to take his horse and ride it all fucking night? I mean, come on, people. Everyone had their kids jamming out to that song. Dude, I feel like, no cap, I feel like back in the day, that's something my dad would have like made up as a fucking joke. Yeah, they got a gay song and they're going to name it Rodeo and all the kids are going to ride it. That's like something he would have said, like a little drunk, like totally fucking around. And now they did it. Make it catchy, make it something about a rodeo. I mean, not the rodeo part, it could be anything, but like make it catchy, good tune, and slick it up a little bit, all slick and slide, like Alex Jones would say. And like people are so dumb, they had their kids jamming out to that shit. So I don't know. The NBA, you know, they try to seem like they're fucking on the up and up and social justice warriors and on the right side of history, but they're fucking not. Uh, and I thought I had something for this, but I'll just go ahead and throw it out there real quick. Um, what was it? Oh, back when AI was big, Allen Iverson, and he had a lot of people following him because he was authentic and he kind of had this like say no to the system and like be your own man and be authentic. Uh, a lot of people fucked with that, and he was a leader for a lot of people to look up and try to be like that too. And the NBA hated that, so they made this dress code of when he wasn't playing and he came to the games and sat on the sideline with his team, he couldn't dress like a basically like uh just like somebody from the hood, you know, like just or just like relaxed like street clothes basically. They were like, "Oh, you're too street, you're too ghetto, you're too G, whatever. However you want to say it, like you're just like a pimp or whatever." Like he was just too much of a pimp. Like he was basically expressing himself too comfortably and had too much swag. That's what it was. And like they didn't like it, and they didn't like that he was letting his nuts hang, and he was just being a leader for individuals and showing like I got flavor, bitch. I'm stylish and I'm not a bitch and I'm a free thinker. A little, not maybe Einstein or nothing, or that's not even a good example really, but like not anyway. They didn't like the message he was putting out because he was an independent and free thinker. And so they kind of that was a way for them to like shut him down just a little bit. And I've noticed since he's out, the dress code has kind of gone back to where it's relaxed. I've seen people wearing like similar stuff that he would have worn, maybe not quite as much, but it's like they will wear pieces of what he would wear. Like they'll wear a do-rag or they'll wear a chain or they'll wear like an open shirt. They might not wear everything like all like he was doing, but I've seen people get a lot more loose and pretty much almost dressed like AI on the sidelines. It's almost like because he's not there, they don't care anymore. You can dress like a gangster. You can dress like a G now that he's not here because of what he was representing. But I've also seen them not caring the other way where people can dress like as feminine as weird as they want to. So it's like, what is the NBA really promoting? And I just thought it was funny that like they'll crack down on AI dressing like a gangsta when he's a leader and he is independent and not being a bitch. But as soon as that's gone, oh, y'all can dress like that again because it doesn't mean anything. But when it meant something, that's when they're like, oh, we got to nip this in the bud. So I just kind of think about that with the Melo thing. Like, oh, he's saying, even though no homo might be like a something that's overall not good for us anyway, I feel like he's someone that's raw. He's authentic. He may not be like so much of an independent thinker and like a leader in that way, but I feel like he's a little bit of a rebel. He has a chance to maybe be that a little bit, and they're trying to nip that shit in the bud right away. That's kind of what I see. Y'all let me know what y'all think, especially with the influence from LeVar and stuff. He's a little more rugged, a little more man of the people, a little more blue collar, willing to say what he wants, not hold back, be a man of the people. I feel like the other ball boys kind of have that too, and I feel like the NBA wants to like stomp that out as quick as they can. So y'all let me know what y'all think. Not a big deal. Was the fine the right amount? Should have been more or less? You know, what do y'all think? Y'all get in the comments. Y'all let me know what y'all think about these topics. Y'all let me know what topics y'all want me to cover coming up soon. I kind of want to have, you know, I'm trying to find a good formula with the streams. I kind of want to have maybe 2 or 3 a week where I'm doing like this. How long am I going? I've been going like an hour. I kind of wanted this stream to be like a 30, 45-minute stream, just a quick hitter, a few good topics in the beginning, maybe not a set number, but just topics where I don't spend more than like 5 minutes. So maybe like 3 to 4 topics. Or even if they relate to the same topic, just 3 or 4 different pages, and then get to my final topic and kind kind of have like what I call this like a newscast, or Where There's Smoke newscast, where I go live 2 or 3 times a week, talk about a bunch of smaller stories, kind of give my take on them, get interactive with y'all, and kind of do that way. And then maybe have 1 to 2 videos a week, maybe 1 if I'm already doing the other 3. Maybe do 1 video a week that's like a longer video that's like an hour, hour and a half, which would be like my Tim Dillon, Joe Rogan breakdown, my Trump and Rogan breakdown. The Rogan breakdowns are really good for longer videos, or maybe if I have a guest on, we have a longer video. Um, you know, usually the longer interviews that I see online, like the Don Lemon and Elon interview, any of the Cat Williams stuff, any of the longer interviews, those are the ones that I like to break down and take about an hour, hour and a half, maybe even longer, depending. I feel like this Tim Dillon one's going to be a good 2-hour banger. It's a great interview. There's a lot of good stuff they talk about for me to break down and give my opinion on. But yeah, maybe I'll start doing these 2 or 3 shorter streams through the week, like quick hitter on news topics. I really need to do a better job, and I've said this many times, and I just need to do it, of covering topics like as they hit. I should have been on this Haley Bailey thing a little sooner. I kind of covered it as the initial thing earlier, but then it fully has developed with more little things and different stories that kind of all relate. So I feel like I've covered that one okay. The LaMelo thing, I wish I would have been a day or 2 sooner. But yeah, just hitting these things. If I'm having a stream every other day or every 2 days, then by nature, I'm going to be kind of on top of what's going on. So I kind of want to keep on top more. Not that y'all care, but I feel like, if you're a fan of the channel, fan of my opinion and the conversation we got going, the in-depth dives, then you'll definitely enjoy a more consistent and just more up-to-date news stuff, because I kind of have a bad habit of procrastinating and let things get stale maybe a day or 2 more than they should. But y'all let me know. Do y'all feel like when I cover the topics, they're still pretty relevant, and y'all, by the time I'm talking about them, have y'all already heard about them once or twice or 3 times? Or when I'm giving y'all the news, is it the first time you've heard about this topic? I obviously would love it if it was the first time and I'm the one breaking the news to you. That's kind of the goal here a little bit, but also it's more than that. I'm not going to be you're going to see things on social media. You may even hear other people talk about them, but I don't want to wait too long to where you hear 2 or 3 opinions and you're done with the topic. You formed your thing, you're on to the next thing. I want to hit it like, either I want you to hear about it through me, or I want to hit it after you've only just seen it on social media and you're waiting for someone's opinion and formulating your own and want to hear a discussion, or maybe after you've heard only one other person. So I want to hit things pretty soon. I want to stay in the relevant pocket, but y'all let me know when y'all hear me talk about things. Is it early in the cycle of when you heard it, right on point, or is it kind of late based on when you've heard about said issue? Let me know. That would be a great help. And y'all get in there and comment. Just say topics late, or topics on time, or topics early, or something like that. I'd really appreciate that. And I'm always looking to improve, whether it's technical, getting better equipment, and improving that type of stuff, or me getting better with my speech pattern, getting better guests, improving the format and stuff like that, with asking questions. And I guess when to cover stuff would be somewhat on the format thing. So yeah, always looking to improve, whether it's technical, format, or otherwise something I can improve on directly myself. So yeah, y'all get in the comments and let me know if my stuff is hitting on time, a little late, early, how it's hitting your timeline and stream, and you're coming into your I guess realm of existence, so to speak. And y'all let me know what y'all thought about tonight's topics. The political stuff is really, I don't want to be covering that all the time, but that's what gives the most substance and what I can flesh out the most and what hits the hardest. But I'm going to try to get in some other stuff soon. Y'all let me know what topics y'all want me to cover more, any new topics. And I think that's it for this stream. Until next time, I will see y'all within a day or 2. That is a promise, with the Tim Dillon and Joe Rogan breakdown. That was a dope interview with lots to talk about. So, yeah, I'll see y'all in a day or 2. And until then, it's LOG from Where There's Smoke. I'm out.